let's talk about a very important subject in bodybuilding that can have more to do with your success than nutrition or what exercises you do or anything like that. It's focus. And you hear this a lot, and what exactly does focus mean?
Hey Hans, what did you think of that game last night?
Now, it's clear that that dork is wasting his time. Why? Mom, can you help me out here?
Well, dear, it's quite obvious, isn't it? He's not paying attention to what he's doing.
Exactly. Mom usually does know best. Now, when you're doing your set, we're going to think about what we're doing. We're going to think about what muscles we're using. We're going to feel the muscles, and more on how to do that later. That's a difficult skill to learn. And 3, no doing anything that would distract you from 1 and 2. So, no talking, no chewing gum, no reading, no looking around the gym to see who's checking you out. None of that. We're going to pay attention 100% to what we're doing while we're doing our set. Let's talk a little bit about which muscles you're using. Now, here's Scooby's very simplified anatomy lesson. If a joint is moving, as my elbow is here, then a muscle that's on either side of that joint is working. Now, if you're moving 2 joints at once, for example, that dork in the previous exercise, he was doing this. He was moving his elbow and moving his shoulder. So in that case, the elbow motion was working out his bicep, and the shoulder rotation was working out a shoulder muscle. So when you're doing your exercise, think about what joints are rotating and think, do you actually want both joints to rotate? If this is an isolation exercise, the answer is no. You're only going to be moving 1 joint at a time, and you need to focus on this. Okay, so to recap, when we're doing our set, we're going to think about 3 things. The first, we're going to think about which muscle we're actually using. Which joints are rotating? And do we want more than 1 joint to rotate? The second thing we're going to focus on is we're going to feel the muscle. And again, more on that later. That's a little difficult to pick up at first. And then third, we're not going to do anything that distracts us from number 1 or number 2. No talking, no chewing gum, no reading, no looking around the gym, no daydreaming. Okay, so we just talked about what we're doing during our set to focus. Now, is that the end? No, you wish. A workout is what, an hour long? And maybe you're working out at most 20 to 30 minutes during that, and the other 30 to 40 minutes is rest. And what you do during that 30 to 40 minutes is just as important as what you're doing during the set itself. If you want to maximize gains, you need to use that 45 minutes to your best advantage. And let's talk about what you're not going to do in that 45 minutes. We're not going to talk on our phone. We're not going to send text messages. We're not going to be talking. We're not going to be cruising the web. We're not going to be looking around the gym and checking everybody out. We're not going to do abs between every set. If you want to do abs, do them before your workout or after your workout. It's not a time to play with dolls. Hi, my name is Hans and I'm the mascot. No, I'm Klaus and I'm the mascot. No, I am. And we're not going to stretch. If you want to stretch, do it before your workout or after your workout. Okay, now that we've talked about what we're not going to do between sets, let's talk about what we are going to do between sets. There's 4 things you can do, only 4. You can think about the set you just did. Did you achieve your goal? Did you use good form? Okay, so you can think about your past set. You can think about your next set. How many reps are you going to do? What weight are you going to do? What's it going to feel like when you do it? The third thing you can do is visualization. A lot of success in sports comes from closing your eyes and going through the motion in your brain and thinking how it would feel. It sounds stupid, but a lot of successful athletes use that technique. The fourth thing you can do is work on muscle control. And this is a key aspect of success in bodybuilding. You hear a lot of professional bodybuilders say you have to focus and feel the exercise. Well, what in the heck does feeling the exercise mean? The best way to describe it is you have such good control of your muscles that as you're doing the exercise, you can flex. And you have to have minute control of your muscles to be able to do this. Establishing the mind-muscle connection is very important in bodybuilding. I know this sounds really hokey, but it's similar to an engine in a car. If your spark plug wires are loose, then this high voltage bolt of electricity going through the wires can't get completely to the spark plug, so you have this anemic little spark and your engine doesn't develop as much horsepower as it should. It's the same with your brain and muscles. It's your brain that's telling your arm to flex and contract. And if you don't have a good connection to that muscle, then you're not going to get the maximum out of your lift. And there's some exercises you can do to help improve this connection. And you can practice this between sets. If you're in a gym, you might feel self-conscious, but at home, it's no big deal. So for example, you're doing chest. Work on being able to alternately flex your pecs. Anyone can make them jump up and down at the same time, but making them slowly go up and down one at a time, that takes control. And that's the kind of control you need when you're lifting to be able to feel and get 110% out of your exercise. For chest, here's a good way to start the drill. Hans is going to assist us.
Oh no, not this again.
What we're going to do, we're going to take Hans between our hands. Oh, sorry, Hans. And squeeze.
Ow, 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 ow. You're hurting me. Ow, ow, ow.
Okay, now feel what that feels like. You're squeezing.
Ow, 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 ow.
Now we're going to put Hans down, and with our hands touching nothing, we're going to do that same squeeze. And that's what we're going to do during the exercise. We're going to feel it. We're going to squeeze while we're doing the exercise, and that's going to help focus on the muscle.
And after you've mastered flexing both pecs at once, then you'll advance to trying to flex one at a time while the other is relaxed. So you'll flex your left pec while the right is relaxed, and then you'll flex your right while the left is relaxed. Six-Pack BN here is illustrating ab control drills published by the great bodybuilder Sandow in the late 1800s. Now, these are just 2 drills. For other muscle control drills, do some research on Sandow, S-A-N-D-O-W.
Now, what are we going to do with this newfound skill of being able to control our muscles independently? Well, when we're doing our set, that's going to help us feel the muscle. So, for example, while we're doing our chest flies, we're going to flex while we're doing it. So again, the 4 things you're going to do between sets. You're going to think about what you just did in the last set. You're going to think about what you're going to do in the next set. You're going to visualize how it's going to feel. And 4, you're going to work on muscle control. So that, in a nutshell, is what focus is about. So no more talking, no more text messages. The 50 to 60 minutes you're lifting weights, your mind is right here. Don't let it wander. Don't even be thinking about what you're going to do for your next exercise. That doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you're doing right now. Don't be looking to see if that machine's open. Don't be thinking, well, should I do jumping jacks or should I be doing toe twists? No. Just think what you're doing. If you find yourself thinking about a book you want to read or dinner, try this little trick. Your mind is on one of those 4 things. Alles klar?